Hi, Nancy here, and today I want to show you how to knit in the round on 2 circular needles. You need 2 circular needles to do this. You want them from the same manufacturer. They need to be the same size. They don't need to be the same length. However, I wouldn't even attempt this with anything smaller than a 20-inch length. There's just not enough room to work your stitches. At least that's my opinion. So what I've done here is I've cast on all the stitches onto one needle. I do the same thing as I do when I join in the round on double points or 16-inch circular. I add an extra stitch. And my reason for that is simple. I like the nice tight join I get. So we have 25 stitches here, but we're really going to be working with 24. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the stitches to the end that doesn't have the working yarn coming from it, and I'm going to slip half of the stitches plus 1 onto the free needle. So in this case it will be 13. So we're going to put 13 stitches onto this needle. Okay, so we have half plus 1 on this needle, the other half on that one. I'm going to take both of the needles, hold them together, push the stitches down to the other end, okay? I want the needle that has the working yarn and the tail coming from it on the top, or if you're holding them this way, it would be to your left. Okay, now you'll notice that the inside of my work is facing me. Okay, these are my purl bumps, and they're looking at me and they're kissing. That's where the saying comes, your stitches should be kissing each other. Alright, with a free needle, or free point I should say, I'm going to take that extra stitch and I'm going to put it onto the needle that has the working yarn coming from it, and notice I'm putting it on in the manner so that it's right-legged, just as it should be. It's not twisted. I'm going to take the stitch that has the working yarn coming from it, pass it over the one that I just placed on there, and basically I'm binding it off. So we don't have the extra stitch. I'm going to tighten up both my working yarn and my tail, and we are now in the round. Okay, you can see the outside of my work by the cast on edge. Now, the back needle is resting. We are not using this needle at all. The needle we're using is this one, the one in front, needle 1. Needle 1 is always going to be the needle that's facing you. We're going to take and knit, not with our tail, I've already done that tonight. We're going to knit the stitches on this needle. Now you're going to notice something. I did not put that needle into rest yet. I always knit a few stitches before I do. Now I'm going to rest it. The reason why I do that is I don't want the unevenness in the stitch that you get when you sometimes pull it against that cable, and I find for me personally it helps. But you have to be conscious of it, because otherwise you're going to end up having problems and not using the correct needle. So we're going to knit the stitches on this needle here. And then we'll do on the other one. The nice thing about this is that your tail is your round marker. Okay, that needle done. Okay. Now I'm going to rotate this whole thing to the right. Okay? Be careful that you don't twist. Now I'm going to pull the resting needle up into position because it's no longer resting. It's got to go to work now. Okay? Now I could pull this to rest as I told you before, but see what happens is I pull this and it gets a funny looking stitch. So I try to leave it on the needle for my first few stitches. Okay, so now we're going to use needle 1, which is the one facing me. Get my yarn in position, which is coming off the back needle. I'm going to knit a couple stitches, make him rest. Now I'm going to come down to the end here. Just like with double points, this works so much better when you get a little weight on here, when you get a few more rounds, and then it kind of lays itself out as it should. Okay, almost done with this. Okay, now, okay. I know for a fact I've done a complete round. You're doing a round 1/2 at a time, because my working yarn is back with the tail where it should be. So for my next round, what I would do is slide these into position. I would do my first few stitches, then rest this back needle, only if that doesn't confuse you. If that confuses you, then you rest that from the very beginning and only work on that front needle right off the get-go. But one needle at a time, that's how you do this. That's how you knit on 2 circular needles.